Why are the playoffs better at Boston Pizza? Because we've optimized our sports bar experience by studying in-depth analytics, starting with our new BP winged ribs, currently leading all apps in wings above replacement, and deep-fried pickle wedges, an early favorite for the unanimous #1 overall pickle. And, of course, the advanced stats darling and leader in pints per game, the new Beer Mosa. Catch the playoffs at Boston Pizza, powered by Fanalytics.
You're listening to Oilersnation Radio, presented by the Nation Network. Subscribe for free on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Thank you, Lisa. Oilersnation Radio is kicking off on a Tuesday. Dan Coombsy, Liam, Tyler, Bagmilk here. Got a lot to discuss as the Oilers kick off their second round series versus the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow, maybe.
Allegedly.
I heard they might play it tonight.
Could be today, could be tomorrow, could be never.
Today. Just get it started with a couple of quick games on one day.
They're gonna do it like an old minor hockey tournament, and they're gonna be like, "Hey guys, we're not in the same room for the next game in 6 hours. They gotta pack it up, move everyone around."
No floods between games either.
You know what? When I think of that though, the meal in between, probably Boston Pizza.
We're gonna get to our friends at Boston Pizza because they challenged us with something today, Tyler, and we crushed it. We'll get there. First, we got to start off with the delicious debate for our friends at Oodle Noodle. 18 locations and counting. If you are in Edmonton, go stop at any of those locations. Grab yourself a free sticker. If they don't have any, reach on out. We'll get them restocked. Promise. Good? Tyler, what do you got for a delicious debate today?
Our delicious debate today, well, for listeners of Oilers Nation every day, you would have heard me outline. I called them the 5 key battlegrounds of this series against Vegas. Which sounds intense and extreme.
The ice.
No.
The arenas in which they play.
That's not one of the battlegrounds you chose. Okay.
No.
All right. What do you go?
So here are the 5 key areas I identified. Number 1, power play, goaltending, high-end skill, the blue line, and the starting games on time, which the NHL is admittedly struggling with. So power play, goaltending.
They don't even have their days right.
No. Power play, goaltending, high-end skill, the blue lines, and starting games on time. Which one of those 5 would you say is the most important to the Oilers winning this series?
I'm going to say goaltending. I think that if Stu even looks more like he was down the stretch, then I don't really think it's close.
If those last 10 games of the regular season, he was nails.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So if you can get it somewhere around there, in and about that area, I think the Oilers are in really, really good shape. So I'm going to pick goaltending.
Well, putting aside the NHL factor, I'm going to say it's the start times because I think that these are going to be some track meets. And I think that if you start a track meet, we've seen it in the past with these Oilers teams. You start a track meet behind the 8 ball, started in the second period. You can find yourself starting a game 3-0 down. And that's very easy to do against this Vegas team. So I'm going to say it's the start times.
Just to follow up on that, the Golden Knights in the regular season, when they led after 2 periods, 34-1-2. Pretty
Not
good.
Ideal. Not ideal.
Really good relief pitching. I think for the Oilers, the number one thing, and we saw it in the LA series, was the power plays in games 1, 2, and I guess 3 as well. It kind of felt like, and I don't know, we're obviously a little bit biased. We're all looking at it from an Oilers perspective. It felt like not everything was being called that the Kings did. And then in the latter part of the series, games 4, 5, and 6, the Oilers were getting more power play chances. Their power play was scoring, on 50% of their opportunities. Nobody can keep up with that. That's just the way it is. So if this series is the penalties are called even or the penalties are called in Edmonton's favor, I have a hard time imagining the Golden Knights managing to win this thing unless they get, go back to Bagmilk's point. The goaltending's obviously phenomenal. Maybe the only way I think the Golden Knights can compensate for Edmonton's power play is if they completely goalie the Oilers.
I will go with the blue line because I think that the Oilers power play will show up and the high-end skill will be there already for the team. They kind of go hand in hand, I suppose. But if the Oilers are good defensively against the Golden Knights, then I don't know how the Golden Knights are really going to compete with the Oilers.
I think that's a good point. I do actually think the interesting part about laying it out this way is you can honestly make a case for all of these. Yeah. I'm going to say it's the power play, though. Vegas, they averaged almost 3.5 penalties taken per game against the Winnipeg Jets. They also allowed the Winnipeg Jets to score on 40% of their power plays. They made the Winnipeg Jets power play look elite. The Winnipeg Jets do not have the best power play of all time. The Oilers do. If Vegas is going to take 3 to 4 trips to the box every game, they are gifting the Oilers basically a 1 to 2 goal lead right off the jump just from doing that. So if the Oilers keep humming at 50% on the power play, there's just no way Vegas can beat them.
And The Winnipeg Jets power play isn't like no pushover. Like they got a lot of talent on it, but yeah, like it doesn't even come close to what the others are able to put out there. And if then what was it? I think it was 41% Winnipeg shot at.
Yeah.
And the others was 57%. The others penalty kill and the Vegas Knights. The others power play and the Golden Knights penalty kill was almost the same number in the first round.
That shouldn't happen.
I think the Golden Knights were around 59%. And yeah, the Oilers were 57%.
So, and the Jets, keep this in mind, the Jets in the regular season were 23rd in the league on the power play. And the Golden Knights penalty kill, 19th on the season as a whole. But from March 1st on, it's 28th in the league.
Something else to consider.
Okay.
Josh Morrissey missed a lot of that series on that power play.
They were missing one of their best power play guys.
So then they still shot at the percentage they did.
Here's one thing also to consider from the regular season. I've just pulled up Hockey Reference, and the Vegas Golden Knights took far and away the fewest penalties this season. Like the next team on the list in terms of power play opportunities against has 217. That's the St. Louis Blues. They allowed the second fewest. The Golden Knights were only penalized 195 times throughout the regular season. That's nuts.
Insane. Where are the Oilers on that list? Because I don't see them in the top 50. They go sixth.
Yeah, right in the middle of the group. Yeah, they took quite a few penalties. They had the sixth most power play opportunities again. So they gave their penalty kill a lot of work.
Yeah. And sorry, I did actually misspeak on that stat on the Golden Knights. They gave up 2.4 power plays per game. They took 3.5 power penalties per game. There's just some coincidentals in there I didn't factor in. So that is a good point. Like they're good at staying out of the box, or the refs don't call anything on them. One of the two.
What were the numbers in the playoffs out of curiosity to there? Like how many penalties were they taking in the playoffs?
They averaged 2.4 times shorthanded per game against Winnipeg.
So and they only played 5 games too. So it's a little bit of a smaller sample size compared to everyone else. But
like what the Oilers average, like 4?
Times shorthanded. I am going to double check that. Sorry.
Because I feel like 2 point whatever you said is low compared to what the Oilers took.
Yeah, that was around what LA was doing in those games that we were complaining about. Like when we were angry, we were like, the Kings only got two penalties called against them.
The Oilers averaged 3.5 times shorthanded per game, and the LA Kings averaged 2.67.
Yeah, not great. So I think another point here is that when the Oilers do get their opportunities with the man advantage, you got to take advantage of it. You got to cash them in.
So maybe that is the number one thing, the number one battleground.
That's what it was in the LA series, man. Everything changed when they started calling penalties against the Kings. It was hardly a series after that. The Oilers dominated LA when the penalties were being called.
But the penalties that the Oilers were taking weren't like play game, or they weren't game penalties. Most of the penalties that they took were extracurricular, stupid, drawn into penalties, which I think I just peeked at your box there, and Vegas only had 207. I think power plays for themselves as well, or power play calls for them. So
power play opportunities for the Vegas Golden Knights. Sorry, I'm just gonna.
I think they're right at the bottom there.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, they're right here. They're dead last.
So for some reason,
207 power play opportunities for the Golden Knights. They're dead last in both categories. So they don't get involved in this stuff at all.
Yeah, and so I think that's a good thing for the Oilers. I think that's a positive for the Oilers. They're not going to get dragged down into the rat game that we were talking about against the
Are they a softer team?
It's funny because we spoke about today on Oilersnation every day, like who's the rat of this team, and it was kind of difficult to pick someone because you look at it, and I said Colasar and Mark Stone.
I said maybe like a Brett Howden,
Braden McNabb. Throw some dirty hits sometimes, maybe. There isn't anybody.
You kind of just like picking at straws, really. Like they're fairly like clean team with like
they've got look at how low some of their penalty minutes are. Mark Stone, I recognize only 43 games, but 10 penalty minutes. Alex Pietrangelo, 16 penalty minutes. Shea Theodore, 18 penalty minutes. These guys don't take penalties.
Or do the refs love them?
The refs might love them.
That's a good point.
Let's start that narrative now.
Yeah. I just think that when you see the number of penalties that they drew as well, that maybe they just aren't a team that worries that much about their power play and penalty kill and all that kind of stuff. I mean, we've seen teams, and I think that that's the issue for the Oilers that, Bag Milk, you mentioned it. You got to be deadly on the power play because the referees start thinking of the Oilers power play like it's an automatic goal. And the referees are only human, and they don't want to affect the game outcome as much as I think people believe that they want to. So they're not going to call those ticky-tack power plays for the Oilers because the power play is just so lethal sometimes.
I think this is an opportunity for the Oilers to bully the Golden Knights a little bit. Oilers are a big team.
They are. Lots of big forwards, lots of big D-men.
If they can throw the body around, I'm looking at the roster right now. Like, who can hang with that?
Maybe the Oilers should bring the LA Kings scrappy energy into this and piss the Golden Knights off a lot and make them take uncharacteristic penalties.
Yeah, like, and I totally do get that because it is a unique situation or a unique feeling to be like, wow, the Oilers are like a tough group who like have some size. They can bully them. But I also think we saw in Vegas that is Edmonton disciplined enough to do that? Like we saw Leon Draisaitl take a dumb penalty. We saw Klim Kostin in game 3 take a dumb penalty. Like I feel like the Oilers don't know where the line is, and I don't trust them to.
I'd say that's more a product of the reffing, though.
I think that's the league. I think the league
line moves.
Yeah,
look at the first round. The officiating, not just in the Oilers series, was terrible.
Yeah, the guys who did games 2 in Edmonton, then went on to that Minnesota series, they aren't getting an assignment the rest of the way. They're done.
I can't imagine why.
That was from scouting the refs.
They are actually done.
Yeah, it's Rooney and whoever I think are the two or whatever their names were. They're done. Anyways, I just think the Oilers like don't need to worry about that because if the King or the Golden Knights want to turn this into a track meet and skill it up, you're playing right into the Oilers' hand. They're the best track meet skill it up team in the league.
I think it's just naturally going to progress that way. Personally, I just think the series is just going to kind of be one of those things where one team's going to go up and then the other team is going to get on their horses and come right back. It's going to be I see a lot of offense, bet the over.
Does this feel like it's already the Western Conference final?
I actually thought last series felt more like the Western Conference final.
Yeah.
This one feels like
it was round 1.
I know, but it was just like, like the whole narrative going into the playoffs was like, we don't want to play LA. We don't want to play LA. We don't want to play LA. First thing we have to do is play LA. And it was just so intense. And I think LA was the second best team in that division, the Pacific division.
That's what I think.
Number 1. Vegas?
Edmonton Oilers.
I think that
Oilers
playing the Kings in round 1 probably will battle test them a little bit.
Well, it's the same thing that happened last year, right? Like we're going into this intense series against the Calgary Flames, and the Oilers wiped the floor with them. Calgary had nothing to do in that business. It was way easier than
the LA series last year.
Yeah, way easier.
I'm curious for you, Liam, because I know you were telling me in the office earlier this week that you watched a lot of the Kraken series. Are you worried about the Kraken more than you are about the Golden Knights?
Well, I just think Grubauer eventually will kind of fall apart.
It was a revenge tour. That's what I call it.
A massive revenge tour. Now we got the Matthias Janmark revenge tour, so that's a big thing.
If healthy.
I'm worried about the Kraken because they can come at you in waves and their defense is massive.
Opportunistic.
But on the same side of things too, like Colorado were banged up a little bit. Like obviously no Nichushkin and what was the other guy? Landeskog. McCarr missed the one game and they weren't as good as they were last season. So I'm more worried about Vegas than I would be about Seattle, but I also think Dallas will probably win that series anyway.
I can't even look ahead. Like, we start tomorrow.
I'm just out of curiosity. I went and looked at the Oilers head to head against Vegas this season on penalties, and the Oilers got 3 power plays one game, went 3 for 3. That's when they won 7-4. Then they went 1 for 2 when they lost in overtime. And then they went 0-1, which was the game we were at. And then they went 1-3. So they never had more than 3 power plays in the game. And Vegas never had more than 3 power plays either.
Whistles went away.
I think this is going to be a long series.
I disagree.
Why?
I think there are enough areas that the Oilers hold a distinct advantage in. And like there's a sizable gap in those areas versus the areas where I give Vegas an advantage. It's slimmer. Like the bottom 6, I think, maybe you could look at that bottom 6 and go, okay, Vegas has a bit of a better bottom 6, but it's not such a large gap that I think they're just going to like steamroll the Oilers bottom 6.
And it also goes away if they play 11-7.
That too. But like the Oilers bottom 6 is humming along great right now. Outscored and outshot the LA Kings over the course of their 6-game series. The blue line. Okay, the Oilers don't have a defenseman as good as Alex Pietrangelo.
How dare you?
But I think there are a couple of weak spots on that Golden Knights blue line. Like it's better than the Oilers blue line, but not by a crazy gap. And then you go look at the numbers from March 1st on, the Vegas Golden Knights bled chances basically worse than almost anyone in the league. Like it was bad. They gave up a lot of looks and basically won games because of their goaltending and because of a crazy high shooting percentage. I just don't see them as having one like distinct clear-cut advantage over this Oilers team. I think those are winning in 5.
So in the first game of this, you're saying scoring chances. in November when the Oilers played them, they had 23 shots on goal. Then they went from that to 37 to 30 to 39.
They got a lot better when you add the deadline moves, right? Like there's such a different
Kane came back.
Yeah.
That was a big one. Yeah. And then you look at the Golden Knights, like they added Ivan Barbashev and they got
Mark Stone
comes back from injury.
Yeah. That's the big one.
Amazingly.
And Laurent Brossoit comes back and he's been nailed since coming back, man. 927 in the regular season in 11 games. And then in the playoffs in the first round, 915, not amazing, but good.
But he's never held down a starter's job once in his career.
Well, what about when he was with the Edmonton Oil Kings in the WHL?
That's true. That was a big error. Also, the Oilers have faced every single goaltender that Vegas has played this season.
Really?
Every time they've played him, it's been a different goaltender that has started the game. It was Aiden Hill, Thompson, Brossoit, and Quick.
But they never saw Yuri Patera,
That's really
the
too
fifth
bad.
goalie that Vegas used this year.
That was something. I don't see a way. I don't know. And again, maybe I'm just overly optimistic, feeling the high of the round one win. Maybe I'm grossly misreading the Vegas Golden Knights right now. I just don't view them as that complete or that solid of a hockey team.
I've got Oilers in 6, so it's not exactly
Yeah,
crazy.
not that far off, I guess. Yeah.
I think 5. I think the Oilers might lose game 1 and then win 4 straight.
I kind of think it's going to go 6 or 7. I agree with the long series thing, but it's also important to remember Vegas missed the playoffs last year. They're not, I don't think they're the same Stanley Cup contender now they were a couple of years ago.
My heart wants to say it's going to be a sweep, but my head is saying still 6 until the team can like go out and just throttle a team like Vegas. I still don't. I'm not as confident in the.
I think it's also important that they can't give up games.
Yeah.
Like in game 1 of the series against the Kings, Oilers had 2 separate 2-goal leads in that, and they blew in the third period. That cannot happen.
Yep.
That eliminates some of that shit.
Oilers could have realistically, when you look back at it, it's easy to say, but they should have probably swept the Kings all things
Or a gentleman's
considered.
sweep at least.
Yeah.
But you recycled this line so many times. Aaron said it when he was asked who the biggest threat to the Oilers is in the West. And he was like, oh, it's themselves. Like it is. Like if the Oilers bring it A or A+ games 1, 2, 3, 4 against Vegas, it's over.
Yep.
It's done.
We've all seen that A+ game, but it just, we haven't seen it consistently enough to say, for me to at least say that it's going to be 5 or 4 yet.
For our friends at Boston Pizza, powered by Boston Pizza Fanalytics, couple of numbers I want to talk to you guys about from game 6. There were, I lost my screen, Liam. Bear with me.
No problem.
Oilers were outshot 44-26 in that game.
Weird.
A lot of that, I mean, there was a lot of perimeter shots. There was score effects in there a little bit. Like they were shooting from
They're game in
everywhere.
Corsi.
They were game in the Corsi. That is kind of a Todd McClellan staple. Is shot total something that you're concerned about against Vegas?
Shot totals?
Yeah.
Like how many shots Vegas will get?
Yeah, both ways actually, because like the Oilers were outshot 44-26 and I actually thought in game 6, like there was periods where LA was pressing real hard.
Yeah. Honestly, no. I kind of expected LA to obviously have a lot of fight in game 6 under the circumstances, but the Oilers, I think there was a few times this season where it was like, wow, the Oilers are getting really outshot. Like I think a good example is when they beat Calgary. Was it 3-1 or something like that? And Skinner faced like 48 shots. How many of them are actually good chances? Like as long as they can limit the actual scoring chances, they could have 100 shots for all I care, as long as they have like 2 good chances in the game.
Couple more Fanalytic numbers for you, Dan. Both Leon and Connor in game 6 played over 27 minutes. That is probably not ideal.
But having 4 days off.
They played once in the last week.
Yeah, I think it's okay. You don't want to be doing that in a 7-game series back-to-back kind of thing, but
Because McDavid in game 5 only played like 18 minutes or something, I think.
How about this one then, Tyler? In 8:44, Klim Kostin picked up 2 goals and an assist for 3 points.
That's an effective 8 minutes and 44 seconds, if you ask me.
that's effective enough that I might even think about changing a name or something.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I would just...
You mean like when Boston Pizza challenged us today and said, if we get 5,000 likes on this tweet, we will rename our Ice District location to Kostin Pizza. And as we're recording right now at 2:00 on Tuesday, that post now has 5,500 likes. So I hope they've got a good sign guy on call.
The person that came up with the 5,000 number just needs a little Fanalytic twinge, I think, or tweak.
Yeah.
They lowballed, man. 5,000 likes is real easy.
Oiler fans are
We took care of it fast too.
Under 2 hours.
Unreal.
We got a big retweet from Frank too.
Yeah, Frank. Mark Spector jumped in and helped us out. It was Tony Brar. Real community effort around Oilers Nation. But anyways, looking forward to, as I do almost every Wednesday, going for wings on Wednesday at Costin Pizza.
Fuck yeah.
I can't, I need to see the sign now.
They got to do something for us, right?
I need to see some gear come out. The opportunities are endless. Costin Pizza, come on. Everybody wants it, just like you want a pizza flight. You know?
Yeah.
When you guys went out for lunch last week, what kind of pizzas did you get in that flight?
Tropical chicken.
Ooh, nice.
Meteor.
And Great White North.
Great White North.
Liam and I shared.
No pierogi pizza?
No.
Jay and Christopher Palmer did pierogi pizza though.
That's a winner's move.
We also had the deep fried shrimp, I believe it is, that you're on there.
Shrimp bites, those are good.
We had the
Appy Trio.
Appy Trio, and also the rib wings.
You guys went hard.
Oh yeah,
Fanalytics menu comes up big.
Still full?
It's actually amazing. I'm still suffering. And then I went out for cheesecake later on that evening.
Wow.
It's a big one. Yeah, I had to walk that one off.
Wow. Well, there you go. Check out Boston Pizza. Get in on the Fanalytics menu. I say you order the pizza flight and you stack them all on top of each other and make a delicious sandwich. Forward thinking, Tyler.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's doing that. I want to get back to the Vegas series here a little bit. Mostly because the NHL is fumble fucking the schedule all over the place.
Really? So unlike them.
Thanks to our friends at AMA Travel, you and I are leaving tomorrow for Las Vegas, first thing in the morning.
When are we coming home? I don't know.
Who knows when we're coming home? The plan was to come home Saturday morning. Now, it might still be Saturday morning. Will we see 2 games? Maybe. Or maybe not. But maybe.
I feel like I'm a Minnesota Wild fan in not knowing that they don't even set games 3 and 4 until the start of games 1 and 2. For round 2, games 3 and 4 have not even been set yet, at all.
But the other irritating thing here is the Vegas Golden Knights eliminated the Jets over a week ago.
Yeah.
Which means the NHL is known for 8 or 9 days, maybe even more than that the round 2 series would be in Vegas. They had home ice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it.
Nobody else could have beat them.
We knew games 1 and 2 were in Vegas. The Oilers knew they didn't even fly back home.
No, they just
packed
stayed
for a longer trip.
Gene Principe was looking tanned on his hit yesterday.
Yeah.
Come on.
So why? And then Bag Milk, I know you had initially been this might be the Oilers being we don't want to lose out on our watch party money Friday.
That was my theory, yeah.
Yeah. And then we were talking about it and we realized, no, Shania Twain plays Friday and Saturday. So the Oilers still couldn't do a watch party
either way.
Unless now we're hearing the game might start at 5:00 Mountain Time from Jesse Granger. So
What?
4:00 Vegas time.
When?
Jesse Granger on Saturday. Jesse Granger tweeted that an hour ago.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
But it's also related to how the other games go too, right? Because they don't want to have a day where you have both the Eastern Conference series going at the same time, both the Western ones. And I saw something on Twitter where someone said, and I haven't researched this, so I don't know if this is accurate, but apparently the owner of the Florida Panthers has a horse in the Kentucky Derby and doesn't want to have the Panthers playing a playoff home game the same day as the Kentucky Derby. And then also in Florida, in Miami, they have an F1 race.
Yeah.
So the Panthers are having to navigate all this. And I think the NHL is trying to avoid, or they're trying to have the Leafs and Oilers series in the same day to double up the Canadian series. I wonder what.
Okay, but the thing that doesn't make sense, if they're going to try to double it up, why would the Oilers game start at 5:00 Mountain?
Yeah, you're right. That doesn't make any sense.
And also I don't understand how you can be we were all at Greta on Saturday night. By the way, if you want a reservation at Greta, get in there.
Book one for Friday and Saturday, just in case.
Book the whole weekend because you never know.
10 a.m. Saturday.
But then the next day, it comes out, okay, Oilers play Wednesday, Friday. So I want to know how many Oilers fans, not just Tyler and Jay and I, because of AMA Travel, booked something to go to Vegas. Maybe not both games, maybe one game, and now their plans are just completely fucked.
But also, our friend Original Posar, he's booked a trip
for Game 5.
But now, if they keep pushing Game 5, he won't be able to.
He just goes to Vegas for an in and out.
It's just, again, you knew all of this stuff. Nothing has changed last second. You knew Shania was in town. Whose bed have your boots been under?
Gary.
Love that line.
Yeah, good one.
Mm-hmm. You knew this was all happening. How
Also-
is it changing? The series fucking starts tomorrow.
And like Jason Gregor kind of tweeted what he thinks may be a timeline, which includes May 10th here at Rogers Place, but Disturbed, those guys, they play at Rogers Place on Wednesday.
They're going to play during the intermission. The Oilers are going to skate out every period to
You have to leave the arena if you have Oilers tickets, and then you come back in when you get a wristband.
everyone's funneling in and out.
It's just, those concerts have been on the books for months. I didn't understand why. Like, why doesn't Edmonton Vegas start today, given that Florida played on Sunday?
Yeah, there's that. Or also, like, why did the game have to move from Friday? What game was the game supposed to be? Friday?
Yeah.
Just move the Oilers game to Monday at home instead of Sunday. So then you just get Saturday, Sunday off. And then if the Oilers are worried about like cleaning up at home after Shania's rager, then they have the 2 days to do it there.
And then on Monday, you would have Toronto and Edmonton both playing on the same night, lined up for the back half of the series.
There you go.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's just such a trash league operation where it's round 2 starts today and they don't even have their schedule set.
Is anybody surprised?
No.
I'm not sure. I saw it and I was like, that's dumb. And I realized what league we support.
I'm surprised they have a puck drop time for Leafs and Panthers tonight. I thought they were going to have the teams waiting around TBA all day. Just be like, all right, we'll figure it out.
It could be at 7. It could be at 8. You never know.
Just floating out an idea here, guys. Let's go back to bubble hockey. Let's do bubble playoff hockey from now on. Have everybody in the same
Everything was
city
on
all the
schedule,
time.
man.
Yes.
It was dialed
That's what
in.
I'm saying. Let's do it. We're going back to it.
Game started at 11. They ended whenever the
Playoffs will be done in like 3 weeks. We'll go. Let's do it.
It's just kind of wild that we have had discussions earlier on in the season where it's like the Oilers need to find times to put McDavid in prime time when they can't even schedule a playoff round. Like the league clearly just has like bigger problems than trying to put McDavid in a prime time. It's like trying to get him on some ice time more than anything at the moment. It's ridiculous. Like,
It
when
really
are they
is
going to put
ridiculous.
themselves first? Like, when is this league just going to turn around and be like, no, this is our league. We're playing the playoffs tonight.
And
We
that's-
don't give a shit about the Kentucky Derby.
exactly
Yes.
what that's the thing is. It's like this league used to, and most leagues used to, just tell you the day that your game was going to be, and you had to figure out everything after that. Like logistics. Oh, sorry, you have a prearranged thing at your arena. Kick them out or go somewhere else. Like figure it out, you guys.
Remember last year, they had to move the Kevin Hart show in LA up a day.
Yeah.
Because of Oilers Kings game 1 or 2.
Doesn't make sense.
Couldn't move Disturbed 24 hours? Well, I guess people are maybe traveling
Are they
for that. Maybe you
not
take
down with the sickness? Is
It's
that them?
just like
I guess.
God, is that down
you
with the
piss off the
sickness?
16,
Yes.
17,000 plus that are going to Disturbed.
That's a
and
scary group.
It is a scary group. They've got wallet chains, spiked collars.
So Disturb have the Sound of Silence remake. Down with the Sickness is
Oh, it
one
was
of
good.
them.
Okay,
That's the
good.
big one.
Warrior and Indestructible.
Who's opening up for them?
Let's have a
Adele.
look.
Wow, what
All the same songs.
Wow.
Adele doing Down with the Sickness.
She covers down with the sickness. It's beautiful.
It's just very angelic. I'd watch that.
She turned down the coronation, so I figured she was free.
Is this
Benjamin and Ginger.
Breaking Benjamin and Ginger?
Spelled with 2 J's.
I haven't
Yeah.
heard Breaking Benjamin in a long time. That's a real throwback.
Who's opening for Shania?
Adele. Disturbed, actually.
Disturbed is opening for Shania.
They're
Wow.
sharing the stage.
If you're not down with the sickness.
Well, it's because they had to move Disturbed from Wednesday, so they're now opening for Shania on the weekend.
The Disturbed concert's the first intermission of Game 3. The Shania concert's the second intermission, and they both come out after the game and do a concert together.
Just move them both to the community arena.
Yeah.
What's Rexall doing? Can we just put them
Yeah.
in?
I think we should do it at the Meadows Rec Center. Let's go.
What if they did it in the moss pit?
That sounds like it might get a little dangerous. Huh?
Hey, maybe.
Yeah, by the way, stop biting people's fingers off. You're going to the moss pit.
Pardon?
Allegedly.
You haven't heard this?
You
No,
haven't
I
seen
thought people
that?
were just getting shot at the moss pit, not getting.
No, that was outside.
That was well outside the moss pit,
My
Liam.
apologies.
just
This
outside
one
the-
was just somebody walking around biting people's fingers.
What the hell? Is that fan from the Mullet Arena
Okay,
come
so
by again?
also when somebody
That's
walks up to you and
crazy.
asks you to put your finger in their mouth, let's not do that either.
Yep. We've got lessons to teach everybody here.
And barricades. Barricades are meant to hold you in or keep you out, not go through them.
You just
just feels like we shouldn't have to say these things.
It just feels like this is a nice thing we have that's going to get taken away.
It really does. One round in the playoffs, and the chief of police is like, "Hey, if you're gonna act bad, don't come out."
Seriously, you hadn't seen that, Liam?
No, I actually didn't know people were getting bit.
Yeah, there's
bunch of
a
stuff.
Yeg Wave is the source for all things news.
Yeg Wave is big. They've really taken off
They do
since
a
the
good
guy
job,
fell
man.
into Talus balls.
It's really a good news story. You know that they often share the good news about the city.
I've never seen a positive story.
when there's lulls, they go real negative. Like they're like, "Hey, pick on something in the city and shit on it." That's the post, and it just, anyways.
Can't find the opener for Shania Twain, unfortunately.
So there might not be one.
There might not be one. Might be a show. I did see Shania Twain actually in concert at Rexall Place. Well,
There's the hand.
So
Was
is
it
that
almost?
sewn back on or gone?
Sewn back on.
Oh yeah.
So they found their foot. They found the
foot. Someone's
Sorry,
foot.
they found the finger. I was thinking about the feet because the finger was on the ground. So someone's stepping on. Everyone's stepping on this finger, and someone just grabs it and gets it put back on. You sure you even want that finger?
Just put it on ice.
They just wanted a sixth one.
Someone found the finger and they added another finger to their hand, so they look like.
Oh,
an AI
nobody's doing that.
rendering.
Nobody's doing
We should
that.
just do the 3.
Yeah. Live long and prosper.
Like a lobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not what a lobster.
Or the penguin on Batman. I think the moral of the story we're trying to get at is don't bite people's fingers off.
Don't act like a dick. That's
Yeah.
my moral.
I like that one.
Chill out, people.
Yeah, there's
And
no
also-
chill in biting someone's finger
Calm the
off.
hell down.
No one's biting fingers at Greta. I'll tell you that much.
Nope. There was just high fives.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what are those things I had? Pizza taquitos.
How were they?
fingers?
Oh, they were good.
Yeah, you were
Pizza
biting some
fingers.
pizza fingers.
Gonna go
Yeah.
get some chicken fingers, maybe some people fingers.
It was delicious. Do you know the best part about Greta actually on Saturday was watching the game with the sun beaming on my back. It was just nice to be.
You don't see the sun in England very much.
No,
do you?
it just felt nice. Like playoff weather was there on Saturday.
There is something very, I don't know.
Cathartic.
About like the
For
sun's
Edmonton.
out when you're like driving home from work and like got the window down. It's like game night. Like I love spring hockey.
Well, I think it's because we walk to games most nights and it's minus 30.
Yeah.
So then when we see the sun, like Liam said, it's really a refreshing thing.
I also like that there was a point where on Saturday night, my phone kept buzzing over and over again because it was people sending me pictures of Liam eating a banana from varying angles.
That was posted twice on our socials. It was almost the same picture. It was quite funny. I had a few texts about that too. My
Well,
dad commented, "You make me so proud."
You got through him.
Fuck
Yeah,
jealous.
they were all gone.
Yeah, what?
They were all gone.
Your dad said he was proud of you?
My dad's very proud of me.
Wow.
I wish.
banana
Dare to
face.
dream.
Lindsay Eel is opening for Shania Twain.
Who?
Oh, finally.
I don't know.
Lindsay Eel?
That took you a long
Lindsay
time
L.
to get to that. That
Lindsay
was a while
L.
ago.
Sorry.
Okay, now we can move on with the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, what else we got?
What else do we have?
Want to talk about the other series?
Yeah, let's go around the league a little bit, I guess.
Nothing else really interesting happened.
You guys want to talk about the Jays?
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Jacob Trouba hit.
That's
Okay.
a good one, yeah.
Thoughts?
I'm a big fan of it.
I thought that,
Wow.
I mean, I'm a little bit older. So to me, that's a keep your head up in the trolley tracks
We
kind of
watched
hit.
Scott Stevens play Bag Milk, you and I,
Yep.
at different times, of course. We weren't.
I would say for me, it was a legal, but probably not clean hit. Maybe. I mean, he demolished him. Like the head contact for me came because Meyer was leaning forward. It wasn't like Trouba targeted it, but at the same point, that was a I thought he was going to blow up into dust for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. I was torn on it. And usually I'm on the side of like, oh, we need to take like hits that could be scrambling people's brains out of the game. But like, it's a contact sport. And like Timo Meyer, my guy, you've been playing this game a while. You should know not to have your head between your feet when you're coming over the blue line. Also, there is a little bit of like, okay, I'm playing Jacob Trouba. Okay, he's on the ice.
Yeah.
I might get my bell rung. Like if his head's up, he doesn't get hit.
That's what Kyle Brodziak said. He said, at what point are you got to keep your head up?
What point do his teammates bail him out too?
Heads.
Like, how does not one person say something to him before that moment? My thing, and it came up when we were talking about the Dumba on Pavelski hit, and the line, I steal it from, I think you should leave, is you can't change the rules just because you don't like how I'm doing it. And I really believe that to be true. Now, this is a conversation to have in the offseason, but we can't keep breaking down these hits and saying that they're dirty because they're allowed. Like it's a part of the game right now. If you want to evolve it out, that's a different discussion. But what Jacob Trouba did last night was was legal.
Yep.
And allowed. And it's a part of the game until it's not, right? And so that's where the debate kind of ends for me.
And his only option was like either you blow him up like he did or you don't touch him at all.
Yeah.
Or you bail out on the hit and you take his legs out. Like
Take out his knees.
Yeah, that was the thing too. Like
Do
people
like a 360 spin around them. NHL hits 2003 stuff.
we spoke about this on the live show, and people were saying how, Trouba should have guided him to the boards. It's like, no, like he was on the tracks, like he was there. Like Trouba had one option, and it was to hit him. And it's just unfortunate what the outcome was. Like there was nothing else Trouba could have done. What do you want him to do? Trip him and take a 2-minute minor? Like, well, it's just kind of like this hit was almost inevitable. And honestly, it's probably more on Maya than anybody else. His head was down. He put himself in that vulnerable position. It's not like someone passed him the puck and he was looking for the puck and it hit him.
Cutting clear across center.
And you come in between like two Rangers guys too. Like, I just don't know what Trouba was supposed to do. And you look at the hit, like he didn't target the head. He didn't leave his feet. He did nothing
Just a big
illegal.
hit.
He just hit him hard.
A huge hit.
Yeah.
That was a huge hit.
And the thing where people are like, oh, he was trying to hit him to hurt him. Well, okay, no. He wasn't trying to do that. But what is a hit in the game of hockey other than to separate a person from the puck?
Yeah,
and that's
trying to knock him
exactly
down.
what he did. And yeah, it just so happens that it was extra explosive because Trouba is really fucking good at that. But it just drives me nuts.
I was stunned Meyer was back on the bench. I'll tell you that much.
They
came out
they
for
shook
the
hands
handshake.
in the handshake and everything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I guess he's not, unless he's completely zonked here and doesn't know what he's doing, in which case that's a whole different discussion. It seems like he's completely fine with what transpired. I guess maybe he's also happy they won the game too. So
I honestly think hits like Jordan Eberle on Cogliano.
That one's
and
terrible.
Adrian Kempe on Bouchard in the overtime are way worse for the game than what Trouba did.
Agreed.
Because Trouba had one option and he took it, where those players had a variety of options and they picked the worst one.
Everybody literally broke Cogliano's neck.
Yeah.
That's Jason Greger had the tweet about it where it's just like, it's ludicrous that we're having this much of a discussion about Trouba when there was no talk about Eberle breaking Cogliano's neck.
It was,
these things happen.
He did his time. 2 minutes.
But we're trying to keep the head hits out of the game. So good thing.
Do you know what's kind of funny? And it obviously ended in bad circumstances for McCann, but Cale McCaw's hit was probably the worst of the four, and he got a suspension for it.
Well,
It's
and
just
look
wild.
at, you go back to the Leaf series too, and the hit on
Bunting.
Bunting got 3.
Yeah, like I just don't know what the rule book is, and it comes down to like the offside, the goaltender interference, all that kind of stuff. The rule book is just so interpretable. It's who knows what a clean hit is or what isn't, honestly, like, because the NHL doesn't know, so how are we supposed to know?
It's just like they're chucking darts, especially too when it comes to discipline on those things.
Yeah,
Like Eberle breaks a guy's neck. 2 minutes.
And then think about the regular season. Connor McDavid throws that vicious throw on Mikey Anderson.
6 games.
Should have 6 games.
6-7 games.
Like our Uber
I saw it was
driver.
reported that it was 6-7 games.
Yeah, I remember. And then he got his 10-game suspension for the Kotkaniemi one a few years ago too. That was nuts.
My buddy sent me that article a few weeks ago and was like, I don't remember this happening. And I was like, oh yeah, me neither.
Crazy. That's crazy, man. Well, you know what they say. Let's pause for an ad.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Good ad.
It was a great ad.
even better
That's
pause.
bad.
Oh, guys.
What other series you want to talk about?
What about the Leafs moving on?
Sure.
How do
I
we
think
feel?
they have I think the Panthers are going to be. I think they have an easy ride through the Panthers.
Really?
I do.
Isn't that what the Bruins thought?
They did have an easy ride through the Panthers, and then they
pissed their
fucking shot themselves in the foot multiple times. I think that's Leafs in 5.
Remember right before the series when Keith Tkachuk came out and he said the Panthers were a soft team? It really felt like that motivated them and got them fired up to prove some kind of point. Because it looked, for most of the season, it really looked like the Panthers just didn't give a shit. They had that amazing season last year. They won their playoff series and then kind of just fell off a cliff. And I don't know, in the last, 3 weeks of the season, they pulled it together. And then Keith Tkachuk says that. And all of a sudden, they just wouldn't go away, man. Like the Bruins couldn't score a goal on the Panthers, which is so weird because they're not known for being a strong defensive team by any stretch.
Bruins were also a minute away from winning that series. It's not like they got rolled in game 7.
No.
Like they were up late. Florida ties it. Crazy.
What about the script?
Oh yeah.
Edmonton Toronto final?
No, when Florida scored and like 30 seconds before it said goal in the corner. That was big.
Yes, that was
The script.
interesting that the NHL slipped on letting everybody know that everything is predetermined. Nothing.
What do you think the
real.
script says for round 2?
Wait, so what the understanding is that since they made an error with a graphic that would already have existed for any goal that was scored, it wasn't like a specific Carter Verhaeghe overtime winner graphic, was it?
No.
No, it was
No.
before. It was before the tying goal.
Oh, right.
goal.
So it was just Florida goal.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it just said goal,
I'd understand if you had some spooky feelings if it said who scored the goal and at what time or something like that, or it was their X goal of the playoffs. But it's just a general goal graphic.
You got the script though. It says that at the bottom to not include anything about the goal scorers until you know. Right?
Leak a little bit.
So it's just
What do you think? You don't think the Leafs have an easier run with the
I
Panthers?
just think you underestimate them kind of at your own peril. Like this Panthers team, scrappy. Makachuk's on a totally different planet right now. He's playing so good. That blue line has a couple of nice pieces on it. And like Ilya Samsonov isn't a world beater. Like I just think it's
Neither
fair.
is Bob though.
I know, but I also think it's just fair to expect that like there will be 1 or 2 games where Bob or Alex Lyon is not good. There will be 1 or 2 games where Samsonov's not good. And that's why I think it's going 6 or 7.
What do you think, Liam?
I think it'll actually go deep too. I think this Florida team has a lot of fight in them, which is going to be the biggest difference maker in this one. And you can say the same about the Leafs too. Like they did have those couple of games in Tampa Bay where they had to come from behind. I actually think Florida will win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I think this Florida team had a bit of a rough year in the sense of like guys being injured, and then eventually it all came together, and they have a ton of talent. Like Sam Reinhart, Kachuk, Barkov. Like Ekblad didn't even score a point in that first round, and they won that series, right? Like I just think they've got a ton of guys who can produce at a good rate, and they're a team that's been to the second round before. And I know there's not a lot to say about that because then they got swept last year, but they've been there. They've kind of done it. So I'm curious. I think they've got a lot of talent.
John Shannon, by the way, guys, is reporting it's confirmed. Edmonton, Vegas, game 2 Saturday, Toronto, Florida, game 3 Sunday.
time.
Fuck me.
That is weird.
Time on it?
No time.
No.
Jesse Granger had the report of
The
5 o'clock Mountain, but
So they're gonna
Great.
They're gonna have to be ready at like 10 a.m. at the stadium. They'll get a start time at some point. Just sit there with your skates on, guys.
so I got a
Play.
feeling the reason for this is the TV partners want one primetime game. Like they're probably going to do Carolina Jersey as an afternoon game at like 1 o'clock Eastern. And they still want a night game that doesn't start at 8 p.m. So I bet you that's the reasoning behind this. I don't love it. I don't really get it,
It's
but
ridiculous.
It's weird.
It's
Also,
just completely insulting to all the fans that made travel arrangements to go watch games in Vegas.
Yeah. The NHL just clearly doesn't care.
no, they don't. Well,
we
yeah.
shouldn't be surprised. Nobody should be surprised.
No.
Unfortunately, I don't want to rag on anyone, of course, for going out and booking a flight or a ticket. But man, the NHL, this is what they do. That sucks. I feel for you.
It's just like, it's ridiculous. So I feel for everybody that you're going to lose a bunch of money. I was looking at the Oilers subreddit this morning when this kind of stuff came up from Mark Spector originally. And there's a lot of people that are going to lose a bunch of money here. And that sucks.
That is super shitty. They should offer like a free refund on all game 2 tickets. Like how?
But they're not going to. They're just going to say, fuck you. And then you're deal with it.
Yeah, because you're always subject to risk. Because what is always the terms and conditions and the tickets you purchase and these things is that you don't know, things might move around.
Yeah.
Which is, I think the Leafs are going to sweep the Panthers, just to finish that part of the conversation off.
I would agree. It would be 4 or 5 games would make sense.
I just think that like, I look at the Panthers like the Oilers in the 90s when we beat the Stars. It took fucking everything to beat them.
Yeah.
And then you come up against the Colorado Avalanche.
It's their Stanley Cup.
Yeah. And so and this is me also saying that I want to believe that Florida is going to put up a fight, but everything I've believed about this playoff so far has been wrong. So I'm going to just continue to.
It feels like now
change
the
it.
Leafs are through their little curse. They've gotten they're out of their own heads and they're past the first round. Think they should be fine to take care of business against a team they went 3-0-1 against.
That's why I just think they walk through Florida.
Yeah. 5 games would be my guess, gentlemen. Sweep. Florida probably picks up a win at home because it's not always easy to go into Florida. It's so fucking nice there. Like, how would you play a hockey game when it's like 35 degrees and you want to be on the beach? How do you do that? I couldn't.
And now you got
You
the
wanna go to
Kentucky
Disney World?
Derby to distract you as well.
Yeah, everybody's worried about the Kentucky Derby.
And
Apparently
the
there's a
F1 race.
horse. I got a message from Horse Racing Alberta today. Said apparently there's a horse in the Kentucky Derby called Skinner.
Skinner.
There you go.
Bet on it or what?
You got a message from Alberta. That
How much
said,
are you betting with our
Wow.
friends at Betway that you're getting horse
And
emails?
it's not even information that's like inside information. It's information about a name. Wonderful. I think
Yeah,
that's
someone
interesting.
just said, hey, I thought you'd find this
Brilliant.
interesting, Tyler. And they told me.
Bet on Stu
Bet on
in the
Stu.
Kentucky Derby.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you should put a wager on that. Seems like good vibes.
Is it Florida's owner's horse?
No, his is called, I Googled that actually a couple of minutes ago. His is actually won before, which is crazy. So yeah, Skinner
Secretary.
is going to be racing as the number 9 horse, 20-1 odds on that
Does
one.
Nuge have a horse in the race?
Sadly, no. What is Vinny Viola's horse? Vinny Viola horse, Kentucky Derby.
Who's Vinny Viola?
The owner of
The owner of the Panthers.
Florida Panthers.
Always Dreaming
Wow.
is the name of that horse. It'll race as the number 5 horse at the upcoming Kentucky Derby, I believe. Maybe. Or is he not racing this year? I don't know.
It's gotta be
Whatever.
at the Panthers game.
Yeah.
Singing the anthem.
For our friends at Betway, provided that you are 19 plus and can and bet responsibly, I got a couple of little series bets for you from our friends at Betway. I want to throw your way. Just curious what you think.
Team me
Are we
up.
going over under? Is that what we're doing?
Well, I'm just going to give you a couple of bets here, Liam, and we'll see if you like them or not.
All right.
How's that?
Sounds good.
Leon Draisaitl to score 7+ goals at plus 500.
Ooh.
What did he score in the first round?
7.
7.
So in the series as a whole, Betway's offering this, eh?
Yes. No.
7.
Yes. Yes, he will.
I would put
Over
something
7.
Zach Hyman, 5+ goals at plus 550.
Under. He'll score
We got a
4.
bunch of unders here.
I'd go under on that.
Yeah, I would too. What else we got here? Ooh, lofty. Connor McDavid to score 7+ goals at plus 550.
Yes.
I like the one. There's one they have for 12 points.
Yep.
I
So
like that
we got Connor to score 12+ points at plus 375.
Over.
That's not even that much money.
Is it like that? The odds are not that great for 12 points.
No.
Average 2 points a game. They win it in 6. Let's go. Giddy up.
But what if the series goes 4 or 5? Then you're pretty much hooped on all of these.
Nah, because you'll have 4 4-point games.
Hypothetically, yeah, I guess, yeah. But there's
Honestly, if they won it in 4, could you not see a 4-pointer,
Yeah.
couple 3-pointers, and a 2-pointer?
if they sweep, you'd think it's because Connor McDavid or Leon Draisaitl went nuclear. But we also talked about the power play thing earlier, man. I don't know if this is going to be a super high scoring series. I don't love the overs on these personally.
How about a couple of just let's pick how many games. So Tyler, you had in 5 games.
Yeah, but my favorite bet is actually Oilers minus a game and a half in the series at plus 125.
How does that work?
They got to win 4-2, 4-1, or 4-0, like minus a game and a half from the series spread.
I see. All right. You got that one there. Dan, can I interest you in 6 games at plus 187?
I think I'm going to go 7.
7 is plus 200.
Yeah.
With our friends at
Where I
Betway.
would go.
Liam, how are you thinking?
5 plus 5
Plus 250.
plus 250. I'll do that one.
All right. Make sure that you are betting responsibly. And just outright winner, the Oilers are favorited at minus 163.
Which, again, I think speaks to the fact that Edmonton fans are moving lines more than, because that's the Vegas Golden Knights are the number 1 seed in the Pacific. If you believe that bettors are just betting based on that alone, then Vegas should be the favorite.
But the Oilers have been rolling lately, though, right? If you look at trade
that's
deadline
true.
onwards,
They've been the
That's a
best
good
team in the NHL.
they were the top 10.
For the last 90 days of the season, wasn't it? The Oilers are the best team in the NHL.
Yeah, for sure. From the trade deadline, they had. But
Yeah.
Fair enough.
We're elite.
How about some series correct predictions, which are fun? I would go Oilers 4-2 because Oilers in 6 is plus 333. I like it. Tyler, your Oilers in 5 would be plus 550.
Spicy.
Dan, Oilers in 7 is plus 450. And if you think the sweep, plus 1,000, maybe a little sprinkle on there. Just a little.
Dave Portnoy style.
Just a little one. A little dusting. There you go. For our friends at Betway, make sure that you are 19 plus and please bet responsibly. Let us know what you're putting a couple of shekels on. I'd like to know. Tyler, what else you got?
Word association.
Finally.
I thought you were just going to go, fuck.
Finally.
I thought he forgot. I never forget.
What do you got? What's the order?
I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tee-ups for you.
5.
And we'll start with Dan and go around the room, ending with BM at the top.
Alrighty, let's go. Word association is the most treasured bit on the podcast.
Yep, it's good. Do you know how to play, Coombsy?
I'll figure it out.
All right.
There's not a lot to it.
Yeah, no, there's really not. All right, Dan,
Seems right up my alley.
you're up. Yamo's game winner.
Timely.
Clutch.
Bonkers.
Monkey off the back.
Needed.
Predictable.
Klim Kostin's first round.
Hammer down.
Fernando Pisani.
Big.
Efficient.
Tripod.
Fucking thesaurus guy over here. Let's go.
Dan, the Vegas Golden Knights all gold home jerseys.
Puke.
Aggressive.
Vegas.
Vomit.
Awful.
They are awful.
They're terrible. I've got my Why You Should Hate the Golden Knights article coming out in a little bit. And there's the jerseys and the fucking chrome buckets they wear.
C3PO.
I can't believe those are allowed.
They're ridiculous.
Like, I appreciate the effort to change things up, but I feel like you get one awkward light thing on that for a goalie could be brutal.
Yep. Well, what's funny too about the Golden Knights, I'm trying to bring it up right now. The Golden Knights golden jersey is it's weak. The shirt is like the jersey is actually weaker than the fabric of other types. And so I've seen them in multiple fights where the necks are ripped because the players like grab the neck and are jarring around at it and it's ripped apart.
All right, next one I got for you guys, just straight up here. Jack Eichel. Dan?
Fuck. Underrated.
No.
Yeah.
He always looks like he's having an allergic reaction.
That's what word association is supposed to be for.
Big.
Angry kid.
Fraud.
Yeah, stepchild. You guys got those vibes.
And last one, the Panthers not selling tickets to Canadian residents.
A classic troll.
Sad.
Kentucky Derby.
Fine.
Who's gonna go?
There you
That's
go.
also how many fucking snowbirds have a resident in Florida. Anyway?
Yeah, that's true. Or you just know somebody, you'll be like, hey, can you buy my tickets? I'll pay you
Every
back.
It's sad.
post I saw on social media, there was a comment from somebody being like, "Hey, Florida resident, I'll buy them for you." Like they're probably Tampa fans, to be honest.
There you
Just
go.
like I don't understand the play there. Like I get it, you don't want Leafs fans to take over the arena, but like
They could do the jersey band the Lightning were doing back in 2015 with the Rangers.
I think it's smart. I think it just gets people talking about them, and
it's not new. Remember when the Preds and Penguins played each other in the Cup final?
Predators have the ban the red movement that they do every year too. Ban
but
Blackhawk fans.
The Preds in that Cup final, you had to be in Tennessee. Never mind just American. You had to be in Tennessee to get tickets to the game.
I just think it's smart because all it does is it brings out the anti-Florida jokes, and then all the Floridians get their backs up and get excited, and then they're Panther fans.
oh great, now we need to encourage Florida man to go do more stuff. Ridiculous.
He's too busy being the governor.
You
Should
know
we
what?
make predictions before we end the show?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All the
Oilers in
series.
6.
Oilers in 5.
I meant for the entire second
Oilers in
round.
7.
Well, he's in 6, I
Okay,
think.
I'll do 5. Oilers in
6. I'll go
5.
6, yeah.
Okay, so we got that one.
Okay, so that's good. Panthers Leaves.
I got Leafs in 5.
I've got Leafs in 5 as well.
I've got Panthers in 7.
Leafs in 4.
Leafs in 7.
Oh, okay. Kraken Dallas.
Dallas in 6.
Kraken in 6.
Dallas in 7.
I'll do Dallas in 6.
I have Stars in 6 as well.
New Jersey Carolina.
Devils in 6.
I'll go Devils in 7.
I'll go
Devils.
sorry, go ahead.
Devils in 6.
Devils in 7 for me.
Devils in 5.
Because Carolina's banged up, are they not?
Yeah.
Svechnikov is injured.
Teravainen.
Yeah.
Yessi Puljujärvi's on their top right wing.
Burn.
That's big.
Well, okay, I'm changing. Canes in 4.
How dare you? You're going to get at least one angry tweet from that one.
He was on the ice for the series clinching goal.
Can
so
we
that was
talk? Did anyone see the graphic that the NHL account put out today about Matthew Nyes?
No.
Holy shit. Go to their Instagram if you're watching. They have it pinned on the top of their Instagram account, the NHL main account. Matthew Nyes on the ice for all 3 OT winners.
That's honestly pretty cool, though, to be fair.
Come on.
That's the kind of thing I would brag about in beer league hockey.
Yeah.
Like,
I was on the ice
on
for
the
3
ice.
I didn't contribute to the play.
I don't think he got a point on any of them.
Didn't he like embellish that high stick that wasn't even close on one of those
He's
goals?
a contributor.
The caption
That
also
was
says
big.
right place, right time.
So
he
like
was- he took that shift at the right
Stepping
time.
onto
the
the ice.
3 posts that the NHL's Instagram has deemed worthy of pinning at the top of their account. The schedule for tonight
Oh, is it accurate?
Did it have any times on it?
has an asterisk. The Kraken, can they make it to the conference
Will they make it
final?
to the conference
And then a flex about Matthew Nyes being on the ice for 3 overtime goals.
Oh my goodness.
The funniest graphic is still that one in the NBA where it just shows that guy who played like 37 minutes, 0 points, 0 rebounds, 0 assists.
Tony Snell.
Tony Snell. That's the guy. That's always the funniest graphic to me.
Yeah, that.
Or the other one that I think it was Sportsnet came out and it was like 6 random players and it was like 6 men, 35,412 days on Earth. And it
Oh
was
yeah, I remember that one.
random
Yeah, I remember that one.
like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is
Super
that?
odd.
Days on Earth.
And then there was a St. Patrick's Day one too with the Flames, and they were like, "Oh, all these Irish guys on the Flames."
Lucic played in Boston.
Lucic played for the Bruins, an Irish-ish city.
Oh yeah.
There it
Played
is.
for the Bruins.
Carey Price, Mark Scheifele, Crosby, Matthews, McDavid, and Stamkos. 56,381 days on Earth.
Hell yeah.
It's a lot of days on Earth, man.
They just kept a running tally. I'd like an update on that.
Yeah,
What?
they should do that every season.
What's like the context behind it? Like, why? What a random assortment of players.
Was it like about the pandemic or something?
Is this about like Team Canada?
I don't know. That seems
I know,
like
because
a
Matthews is
graphic
on
from like.
It seems like somebody with the graphic design department was just high and was just like, I got to make us something new.
It feels like something from like July, August of 2020.
2017, December 10th. It was posted on.
Oh, we need an updated graphic then. That was years ago.
Yeah, someone should figure that out.
Ugh.
Not going to be me.
I need you to figure out a reservation at Greta for the watch parties. One is coming up tomorrow, and as it turns out, Saturday. Go to gretabar.com/book. Make sure you get your table in. It will be full. Let me tell you, on Saturday, that place was packed. Tyler was hosting. Did a great job. Producer Aaron was hosting.
I
Did a
used
great
the
job.
word regicide on the mic.
Yes, you did.
Why?
Means to kill a king.
He learned that because somebody said it in our chat. And then he had
Yes.
to Google it.
Yep.
Yes. I told Tyler not to say words he doesn't know the meaning of on broadcasts.
It sounds like something you'd
So
put
he
on.
just did it at parties.
Like it sounds like a kind of hand sanitizer.
Kinda.
Regicide?
Yeah. Or like something you spray in your backyard to get rid of ants.
Yes.
Or people named Reg.
Yep.
R.I.P. Andre Sekera.
Reg Dunn.
Sexy Reg?
Yeah. Sexy Red.
He's still alive though.
They
Yeah,
play-
he's still here.
Is he still playing for the Dallas Stars?
He's still accumulating days on Earth.
Is he still in Edmonton's cap? They're still playing, right?
No, he's done now, I think.
He's done. Is it who's still left?
Luch.
The real deal?
Oh no, Luch is done after this year. Yeah.
Oh, Real Deal's still there. That's right. Okay.
Thank God we finally got that Benoit Pouliot cap hit out of here. Am I right, guys?
Yep.
So they've got...
Could use him back.
Yeah, actually, this year was the end of Sexy Reg and Luch.
Wow.
And then
So it's-
2 more years of the real deal.
Okay.
1.9. Sweet.
Yeah.
And you got to get Jax in there now in the offseason too.
Oh, how dare you, Dan.
1.9 mils per year to remind us the 19 goals he scored that one season.
Not 20. Unless you ask the NHL, then it's kind of 20.
I don't think he would have scored again that year. I think
No, because he was hurt.
It's a conspiracy.
Ah, what do you know?
He hadn't scored a goal. So he scored all of his goals in October and November.
Just one last thing that I want to cash in on before I close out the podcast on is what were your thoughts on the Flames gassing Daryl Sutter, despite the fact that his 2-year extension starts on July 1st?
Well, I think it's like actually an interesting shift of like Don Maloney, their president of hockey ops, came out and was like, yeah, there were agents and other staffers and players who made it known this is what they wanted. So this is what we did. It's almost like the Flames like ran themselves as a democracy. And Maloney went to everyone and was like, do you like him? And they're all like, nah.
Well,
All right.
and his statement was like, he's this kind of tough nails coach, and that times out, and we think it's timed out. The same guy that signed the extension a year ago
Yeah.
says that he now thinks that they've timed out. Like they didn't know who Daryl Sutter was as a head coach before that.
And it's been interesting to see how it's not just like one or two media people, but like all of them are being told the reports, and their sources are telling them like support staff hated this guy. Players hated this guy.
Like, how big of a dickbag are you if the support staff hates you?
How are you an asshole to the trainer?
Yeah.
Did you guys see Huberdeau's quote?
I would love to hear it.
Let me find it.
I saw Mackenzie Weegar and Lindholm were both watching live on the live stream.
And they were commenting too, weren't they?
I don't know if
When they were putting
commented,
emojis in the chat or something.
That would be incredible.
All I know is that there's a new tractor showing up to the Sutter farm this year because he's got some cash.
So this was Huberdeau on
Oh, the Jacob Peltier incident.
Peltier. He said we were all disappointed, especially for the young kid who comes in and doesn't need that as a young player. He just wants to play well for himself and the team. In the media, we were all pretty surprised. We were all saying that's Daryl. ... But there was also another quote that basically said like he told Peltier that he played really well that day, and then went out to the media and just acted like the kid didn't exist. He's just a prick, to be honest.
That
Like,
was
to
a
put
weird
it
situation,
bluntly.
man.
That's a really weird thing to do.
How does
Pretending you don't know.
And it was especially odd that was all going on right as there was a little bit of anxiety as to whether they would sign that NCAA kid that was doing really well.
Oh, Coronado.
Yeah. And there was like, oh, are we going to be able to sign him, or is he going to stay out east? Harvard guy. And then you have your head coach just fucking with rookies in the media.
Yeah. I mean,
Sorry, go ahead. I'll get to it after.
Do game time.
The Oilers are playing games 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the same day.
I think it's good that Calgary basically put it all out there that like this guy was a douchebag to everybody, like from top to bottom. And okay, I don't even care what I'm going to say anymore. Please read.
Yeah, like your face is like, you can't make
Should
those
have just
faces.
said what it was at first.
Second round schedule officially released as per the NHL. Game 1 tomorrow, 9:30 Eastern, so 7:30 Mountain.
So 6:30 Pacific.
Yeah. Saturday, 5:00 Mountain. Okay, so it's confirmed Wednesday, Saturday.
Wait, what?
Monday in Edmonton, 6:30 Mountain.
What?
So that means 6:50.
I kind of fuck with this actually. This is kinda cool.
And then Wednesday, 8:00 Mountain.
What is this schedule?
And TBD the rest of the way.
How about the Oilers not getting like any home games on the weekend?
Yeah, they will not play a Friday or Saturday home game this round.
Wait, what's game 6? Because my birthday's on May 13th, and I was hoping there'd be a game that day.
They will play Friday is game 5, May 12th. Sunday, game 6.
So May 12th is the game here. Oh, game.
No, May 14th is the game here,
Okay.
game 6.
It doesn't make any sense.
It's
All I'm seeing on socials right now is there's a lot of angry Oilers fans that clearly had made plans to go traveling for this game, and now they are just straight fucked.
If
Leafs, Panthers will not play day of Kentucky Derby. Confirmed.
Yeah, that's it.
Is it the Saturday,
That's the
right?
reason.
Yeah.
That's the thing that fucked this whole thing is the goddamn Kentucky Derby.
Vinny Viola owns
And
a
his
damn
horse.
horse, and now we got to extend our trip.
Some donkey.
bet on Stu.
What a
20
mess.
to 1.
What a ridiculous league this is.
You guys got the script earlier, right? We're fine. We got some more games.
What
coming
other
after this, so.
like basketball? Their second round schedule, no problem. It's out.
Well, they played the second round during the first round.
That is all.
Game one.
That is, I
of
noticed that.
Yeah, you got
The
game
Knicks
one
were
of-
playing while what's their names were still finishing up.
It's nuts.
Yeah.
But like, good, go get it over. Let's get the playoffs moving. Why do you need? Like, I'm sorry, but the Oilers didn't need 3 days off in between.
No,
games.
they could have been playing. The Oilers in Vegas could have played their game 1
Monday.
Well, the first round series were still going. Who cares?
Could have been Monday,
Sunday.
6:00 Devils, Rangers, 8:00 Oilers, Golden Knights, game 1. No reason why it couldn't have been.
You're right. We should send an email to the league and say we've.
No, they probably don't know how to email. It's the Pony Express. You have to send letters to them by carrier pigeon or Pony Express.
Pony Express, Kentucky Derby Express.
What a mess.
My horsey's running, and I'd like to see it run.
and then he's singing the national anthem in the next game.
So essentially, the Florida Panthers owner cares more about horses than the hockey team he owns.
I think the NHL does too.
You think they care more about horses? Not even horse racing, but just horses.
I think the NHL cares more about literally everything else than its actual league and product.
They hate the fans.
Definitely don't care about their fans.
They
No.
actively dislike the fans.
I'm looking on Twitter right now, and there's a lot of upset Oilers fans right now.
Like the start times are kind of whatever.
6:30 on Monday. Why?
6:30 on a Monday.
But it's just like, why? Like the Oilers haven't played a 6:30 game all season. But for some reason, game 3, and I'm sure it's
the
like,
first home game of the second round. Pop it at 6:30. Hey, you off work? Doesn't matter. Fuck you.
I just hate how the NHL does nothing to actually like try and support Canadian fans.
Well,
and just stuff like these times just seem to benefit. And I get it. Like maybe a mountain time isn't the best time for us, but it's just like, well, the Canadian fans pay your bills, and now I don't know. It's just a little.
We've talked a million times about how we want Connor McDavid on prime time, and if they make it early time in the West, then people out east will actually stay up to watch.
So it's because and the Oilers are actually going to be the only game on that Monday.
Yeah, so they're going to be the marquee thing, and this is what
It makes sense, I guess.
we've talked about. Oh, why doesn't the league market Connor McDavid? Well, here it is.
Well, and we also know that the start time is actually usually a half an hour later anyway. So.
Yeah, so this game will actually start at 7.
But also
That'll be nice.
you guys keep saying it's the horse, but the Disturbed concert is now not having to move. So I'm just saying it could have been down with the sickness.
Hey, there are people listening to this who probably have Disturbed tickets.
Yes.
We're very relieved when
Hey,
No, they've got Wednesday at 10.
Damn it. I thought it was the
that's
Thursday.
in
Vegas at Edmonton.
What?
oh yeah,
May
Monday,
10th.
Wednesday.
Do you have the whole thing
I
mixed
tried.
up? Because the
Never mind.
Friday game is.
I thought it was Thursday. No, he's
It's
right.
going Wednesday, Saturday, Monday,
Yep.
Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wednesday the 10th though.
my
So
God.
hey, if you're going to Disturbed, no, you're not.
You are not down with the sickness
I
anymore.
just find it strange that like, surely like these arenas or these entertainment groups would send in schedules to the league and be like, hey, this is our schedule for like when we have concerts and stuff. Like, what do we need to move to accommodate games, or like how can we accommodate all of this? And then literally the night before one of the series starts, like, shit, you guys have Shania Twain over the weekend?
Why didn't you tell
Why
us?
did no one say this? Well, Gary, it's just in this little thing we sent you.
There's a whole website that's got the whole schedule on it.
Oh,
Everything that goes on in that rink, you can just check it out right there.
What other concerts are coming up in Edmonton that might mess with the schedule? What
Well,
other,
just coming up in general for entertainment.
Are the Wiggles coming?
Bro,
Oh,
just
nobody steps aside for the
when's
Wiggles.
the
Dora the Explorer?
isn't Nickelback here in June?
wow.
Like,
Yeah, that's right before the draft.
So
though.
that'll be
I would know because I'm going.
They'll be wrapped up by then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
So we should be
let's
fine.
see
No
what we got
more
here.
like a Disturbed concert later in the month too. No, we're good.
There's no games.
We got Blink in June,
When?
29th, I believe.
Okay. Oh, Tyler just said that.
There's a big, actually, conveniently, there's a massive gap between May 24th to June 24th between Jordan Peterson and Nickelback.
That's yeah.
Jesus.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Jordan Peterson is at Rogers Place?
Yeah. May 24th.
Oh, my Lord.
Beyond Order, 12 more rules for life tour.
Oh,
How many rules does this guy need?
Well,
12 more.
between that and Nickelback, I can tell you which one I'm going to.
Between May 24th and June 24th, we will get in game 2 of this series at some point.
Allegedly.
Such a variety of events at Rogers Place. We have Jordan Peterson.
He's singing for Disturbed.
Yeah.
Is what I'm understanding.
Okay,
Jordan
Liam,
Peterson back?
Liam, I love you. We don't need to do this. It's been an hour and 10 minutes of this podcast.
What is
Monster Jam.
Volbeat, though?
Monster Jam's
That's a
coming to
band.
Edmonton?
Volbeat. They're on hockey fights all the time.
Really?
Yep.
Volbeat sounds like a Pokemon.
Then the Avengers are coming. Sorry, Avenged.
The
movie?
Avengers?
Like Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, I've got tickets to that.
Right before Rod Stewart.
This is Friday, August 4th. The playoffs will be wrapped up by then.
Yeah, we should be good.
Or it could be game 3.
They're still going to be playing first round series games. They're still playing those regular season games between the Flames and the Canucks from the 2021 season.
I want to thank our friends at Greta, Boston Pizza, AMA Travel, and Betway for making the podcast possible. And most importantly, all of you for listening. Thank you for welcoming us into your head. That's where we'll end it. Have a great week, everybody.